Today I'm testing out the Puma Deviate Nitro 3 in what I consider one of the best colorways. It's a dark gray with red accents, and they're the companions to the Puma Deviate Nitro 3 Elites. These are training shoes to the ultralight version of the shoes, meant to be worn in races. Take a look. Here's the box for the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 3s that I got possibly to wear during a marathon effort if I can get particularly fast at it. To do that, I got the training companions to those shoes. Here's the Deviate Nitro 3 Elite. You can see through the fabric, it's so thin. You can see the stuffing is in there to keep the shoes shape. It's got some interesting designs on it for marathons that I possibly will never end up being able to compete in. And at the same time, the more that I run, the more that I recognize that we are supposed to be able to do that. When we were children, we did it. Sometimes we had fun when we got the right pair of shoes, thinking that we could run faster, jump higher, etc. I love wildlife, and these have little indicators of wildlife all around. As you can see, there's a Puma, there's the power plate, and I've got some dirt on this shoe already. That's just to prove to you that I wear these. But overall, these shoes, the Deviate Nitro 3, are pretty impressive. They're not as light as the ultralight elite versions, but they're perfect for my daily endeavors, and they're in a colorway that I think is faster than the other colorways. What do you think? Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Do you guys consider your bodies a temple? Do you consider your body a temple? Of course you do. That's why you're tuning into this channel. There's some things I'm going to tell you that you're probably not going to want to hear, but you're going to want to hear it. So stick around while we complete our first 5K of this year. First outdoor 5K of this year. It's my first real run attempt since the marathon I took on December 9th, I believe. December 8th, 9th. Either way, it's 2 months since that point in time, and my conditioning significantly suffered because of a health issue that I was having. Even right now, I'm not even barely at 1.5 miles, and my heart rate is in zone 4 out of 5. And that was after running the first mile as moderately quick as I could. I think I got my fastest mile yet, but either way, I've had to slow down for a while to catch my breath and let my heart process what just happened. Now I'm going back downhill before the uphill climb for the last mile approximately, and my heart rate is recovering. And I'm just keeping my eyes peeled because I've run out here before, and right about the 1 mile mark, 1 point something miles away from my vehicle, I ran into a bear in the desert during a significant drought where the bear was looking to ambush an easy meal. Once it made eye contact with me and saw that I wasn't going to back down, it took off running across the desert. I felt bad for it because it ran as fast as a bear can run. And many people know bears can run approximately the speed of racehorses. That's pretty quick. It's nothing I would be able to outdo, and especially for the distance that it ran. But I felt bad for it because it was using vital energy stores that maybe it might not have come across easily, not as easily as us people at this point in time. while we're under the false impression that food is just a grocery store away at all times. The reality is nature is what brings us all of these products, including our food, shoes, the roadway that we're walking on, that I'm walking on with you guys, and pretty much everything that we experience, including one another, believe it or not. So for those of you who are still on the fence about giving thanks and having gratitude for nature, I challenge you to find in yourself a spot that you can hold on to and nurture nature and one another with. It's been an unusual past few years out in this ecosystem. You possibly can tell from my skin tone that I had quite a bit of sun exposure yesterday. I'm not one of those who comes out slathering up with sunscreen. I'll possibly pay for that in the future, if there's a future. And at the same time, I'd rather not have a bunch of expired product and one-time use plastic bottles that I continued to contribute to in the face of these adversities. Out here in this ecosystem, you hardly need any kind of bug repellent because there, as you can see, are hardly any bugs at sunrise. Because of that, you don't hear the birds as much. You don't hear the coyotes yipping at sunrise. Not as easily as you would in a place like this in the past. If you dig far enough on the interwebs, you'll find stories of people at this exact trail intersection that I'm coming up on, the Burrow Springs trailhead, and also the Burrow Spring pour-off trailhead, where a lot of times there was a fox that would run around keeping its distance, following people out of curiosity, possibly because people threw down treats. It's hard to say, but the truth of the matter is, even at night, it's very hard to spot animals in this area anymore. I did see a couple of cottontails, so that was hopeful. And again, we're coming up on the trailhead. I've got about a half mile to go. Right around the 2.8 mile mark, my lungs and airway started giving me a little trouble. I'd been battling a cough for a while I was back in the city, and I've mostly gotten past it, but running and breathing hard triggered some things that brought out some stuff, like even my eyes, particularly my right eye. As I sweat, the sweat burns my eyes. Sometimes when I push myself, especially after a while of not having done it, it's almost like there's toxins coming out in my sweat that cause extra pain in my eyes. So I'm at 3.17 miles. I'm incorporating a cool down into this effort. My heart rate is 167, that's zone 4. It's the lower spectrum of zone 4. And I think I only ran maybe a mile and a half, possibly a mile and a quarter, for sure a mile. My first mile, which, like I said, I might have set my own fastest mile record. I could be wrong. It was under 10 minutes though, and I don't recall the last time I ran a mile in under 10 minutes. So I didn't end up running the whole thing. My feet feel good, my ankles feel good, my knees feel good. All of me feels good. The only thing that's needing some assistance is my lungs and airway. But overall, these shoes are pretty great. I look forward to training during this year to see what I can accomplish by the end of this year. Stay tuned. Recently, the Garmin Fenix 7 Pro Solar Sapphire allows you to update your lactate threshold variable or value on your watch without the use of a chest strap. Here you can see the overall pace. At first you could tell I ran the first mile pretty quick. I got quicker, and then my heart rate went up and kind of stayed up. So I ended up doing a significant amount of walking for the next portions of the attempt or the effort, where I covered over a 5K in distance. And you can see I went into my power zones pretty well. That's something I never used to do in the past. And one of the other details that's on here is my recovery period is 50 hours. These give you a good forecast as far as how much time it takes to recover until your next training session. So there you have it. It's my first few miles in these amazing shoes. I've absolutely enjoyed them, and as you can see, I did set a new record. It wasn't the fastest mile as I had thought it would be, but I did my fastest 1K. So if you can look here, you'll see all of that information. Either way, until next time, peace, love, and all that old school stuff.